from the 1967 work by W.H Auden and Paul B Taylor, the Voluspa, the prophecy of the vulva. Heidi men call me when their homes I visit, a far-seeing vulva, wise in talismans, caster of spells, cunning in magic, to wicked women welcome always. Arm rings and necklaces, Odin, you gave me to learn my lore, to learn my magic. Wider and wider through all worlds I see. Outside I sat by myself when you came, terror of the gods, and gazed into my eyes. What do you ask of me? Why tempt me? Odin, I know where your eye is concealed, hidden away in the well of Mimir. Mimir each morning his mead drinks from Volfather's pledge. Well, would you know more? Of Heimdall too and his horn I know, hidden under the holy tree, down on it pours a precious stream from Volfather's pledge. Well, would you know more? Silence I ask of the sacred folk, silence of the kith and kindred of Heimdall. At your will, Volfather, I shall well relate the old songs of men I remember best. I tell of giants from times forgotten, those who fed me in former days. 9 worlds I can reckon, 9 roots of the tree, the wonderful ash way under the ground. When Ymir lived long ago, was no sand or sea, no surging wave. Nowhere was there earth nor heaven above, but a grinning gap and grass nowhere. The sons of Bur then built up the lands, moulded in magnificence Middle Earth. Sun stared from the south on the stones of their hall, from the ground there sprouted green leeks. Sun turned from the south, sister of Moon, her right arm rested on the rim of heaven. She had no inkling where her hall was, nor Moon had a notion of what might he had. The planets knew not where their places were. The high gods gathered in council in their halls of judgment all the rulers. To night and to nightfall their names gave, the morning they named, and the midday, midwinter, midsummer, for the assigning of years. At Ida Vale the Aesir met, temple and altar they timbered and raised, set up a forge to smithy treasure, tongs they fashioned and tools wrought, played chess in the court and cheerful were, gold they lacked not, the gleaming metal. Then came 3, the Thurs maidens, rejoicing in their strength from giant home. The high gods gathered in council in their hall of judgment. Who of the dwarves should they mould man by mastercraft from Brimir's blood and Blaine's limbs? Motsognir was their mighty ruler, greatest of dwarfs, and Durin after him. The dwarves did as Durin directed, many man-orms made from the earth. Then from the host 3 came, great, merciful, from the gods' home. Ash and elm on the earth they found, faint, feeble, with no fate assigned them. Breath they had not, nor blood nor senses, nor language possessed, nor life hue. Odin gave them breath, Haenir senses, blood and life hue Lothar gave. I know an ash tree, named a drizzle. Sparkling showers are shed on its leaves that drip dew into the dales below. By Urd's well it waves ever green, stands over that still pool. Near it a bower whence now there come the Fate maidens. First Urd, Skuld second, scorer of runes. Then Verdandi, third of the Norns. The laws that determine the lives of men they fixed forever, and their fates sealed. The first war in the world I well remember, when Gulveig was spitted on spear points and burned in the hall of the high god. Thrice burnt, thrice reborn, often laid low, she lives yet. The gods hastened to their hall of judgment, sat in council to decide whether to endure great loss in loud strife, or let both command men's worship. At the host Odin hurled his spear, In the first world battle, broken was the plank wall of the gods' fortress. The fierce veins caused war to occur in the fields. The gods hastened to their hall of judgment, sat in council to discover who had tainted all the air with corruption, and Odin's maid offered to the giants. One Thor felled in his fierce rage. Seldom he sits when of such he hears. Oaths were broken, binding vows, solemn agreements sworn between them. Valkyries I saw coming from afar, eagerly riding to aid the Goths. Skuld bore one shield, Skogul another. Gun, Hild, Gongul, and Spear Skogul. Duly I have named the daughters of Odin, the valiant riders of the Valkyries. Baldur I saw the bleeding god, his fate still hidden, Odin's son. Tall on the plain a plant grew, a slender marvel, the mistletoe. From that fair shrub, shot by Hodor, flew the fatal dart that felled the god. But Baldur's brother was born soon after. Though one night old, Odin's son took a vow to avenge that death. His hands he washed not, nor his hair combed, till Baldur's bane was borne to the pyre. Deadly the bow drawn by Vali, the strong string of stretched gut. But Frigga wept in Fensalir for the woe of Valhalla. Well, would you know more? I see one in bonds by the boiling springs, like Loki he looks, loathsome to view. There Sigyn sits, sad by her husband, in woe by her man. Well, would you know more? From the east through the Venom Valley runs, over jagged rocks the river gruesome. North in Darkdale stands the dwelling place of Sindri's kin, covered with gold. A hall also in Everfrost, the banquet hall of Brimir the giant. A third I see, that no sunlight reaches. On Dead Man's shore the doors face northward. Through its smoke venom drips, serpent skin and skein that hall. Men wade there tormented by the stream, vile murderers, men forsworn, and artful seducers of other men's wives. Nidhogg sucks blood from the bodies of the dead, the wolf rends them. Well, would you know more? In the east dwells a crone, in Ironwood, the brood of Fenris are bred there, wolf monsters, one of whom eventually shall devour the sun. The giant's watchman, joyful Egther, sits on his how and harps well. The red cock, the all-knower, boldly crows from birdwood. Goldencomb to the gods crows, who wakes the warriors in Valhalla. A soot-red hen also calls from Hell's hall, deep under the ground. Loud howls Garm before Niflheim. Bursting his fetters, Fenris runs. Further in the future far I behold the twilight of the gods who gave victory. Brother shall strike brother and both fall, sisters' sons defiled with incest. Evil be on earth, an age of whoredom, of sharp sword play and shields clashing, a wind age, a wolf age till the world ruins. No man to another mercy shall show. The waters are troubled, the waves surge up, announcing now the knell of fate. Heimdall winds his horn aloft, on Hell's road all men tremble. Idrisil trembles, the towering ash groans in woe. The wolf is loose. Odin speaks with the head of Mimir before he is swallowed by Surt's kin. From the east drives Hirim, lifts up his shield. The squamous serpent squirms with rage. The great worm with the waves contending, the pale-beaked eagle pecks at the dead. Shouting for joy, the ship Naglfar sails out from the east. At its helm, Loki with the children of darkness, the Doombringers, offspring of monsters, allies of the wolf, all who Byalist's brother follow. What of the gods? What of the elves? Giant home groans, the gods are in council. The dwarves grieve before their door of stone, master of walls. Well, would you know more? Surt with the bane of branches comes from the south. On his sword, the son of the Val gods. Crags topple, the crone falls headlong. Men tread hell's road, the heavens split open. A further woe falls upon Hillin, as Odin comes forth to fight the wolf. The killer of Beli battles with Surt. Now shall fall Frigga's beloved. Now valiant comes Volfather's son, Vidar, to vie with Valdr in battle. Plunges his sword into the son of Hrevdrung, avenging his father with a fell thrust. Now the son of Hlodin and Odin comes to fight with Fenris, fiercest of warriors. He mauls in his rage all Middle-earth. Men in fear all flee their homesteads. 9 paces back steps Bur's son, retreats from the worm of taunts unafraid. Now death is the portion of doomed men, red with blood the buildings of gods. The sun turns black in the summer after, winds whine. Well, would you know more? Earth sinks into the sea, the sky turns black. Cast down from heaven are the hot stars. Fumes reek, into flames burst. The sky itself is scorched with fire. I see earth rising a second time, out of the foam, fair and green. Down from the fells fish to capture. Wings the eagle, waters flow. At Idavale the Aesir meet. They remember the worm of Middle-earth. Ponder again the great twilight and the ancient runes of the high god. Boards shall be found of a beauty to wonder at, boards of gold in the grass long after, the chessboards they owned in olden days. Unsown acres shall harvests bear, evil be abolished, Balder return, and Hrop's hall with Hrod rebuilt, wise gods. Well, would you know more? Haenir shall wield the wand of prophecy. The sun's 2 brothers set up their dwelling in wide Windhome. Well, would you know more? Fairer than sunlight I see a hall thatched with gold in Gimli. Kind lords shall live there in delight for ever. Now rides the strong one to Rainbow Door, powerful from heaven, the all-ruler. From the depths below a drake comes flying, the dark dragon from Darkfell. Bears on his pinions the bodies of men. Soars overhead. I sink now.